Hey, this is Carrie with Canary Quilts, and I wanted to bring you down to my desk, show you what I'm currently working on, show you some completed items that I have shown you in the past that I finished. Oh, I'm going to have a giveaway at the end too. I think what I'm going to do is I have so many patterns that I'm going to start giving away some of my patterns that either I've made or that I just don't think I will make. Someone else might like them. So, stay tuned for that at the end of this video, and if you're interested, you can enter to win the pattern. So, let's bring you down to my desk. Right now, I am going to show you the Cherrywood challenge. I've been thinking about this for a long time. And my first original thought was I wanted to do Dr. Seuss. And either the book, What Was I So Scared Of, or The Grinch. But I just really couldn't come up with anything. And I was a little afraid of the copyright issue. So I was talking to my mom and I was telling her about this. And she told me about a really old story her mom would tell her. The Arkansas Bear is what she called it. And when I looked it up, it was in the public domain. But I didn't know anything about it. And then it really started getting me thinking about other books, popular books that I knew that were in the public domain. And the first one I came up with was The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And that one got me really interested because I do like that story. I remember reading it as a kid. And then I found A Christmas Carol, which I loved that story. So I started playing around with both and I landed on A Christmas Carol. And specifically, I wanted the Christmas Carol scene with the third ghost. So I started looking up inspiration for that. I started trying to use AI to draw it for me because I can't draw. And that wasn't working out that well. But I did find a couple of illustrations that are in the public domain. This particular one is by John Leech, and he did it in 1843. And then I was looking up Arthur Rackham, which did some really cool illustrations when he did the Christmas Carol that are in the public domain. But I've landed on this one. I just like the whole composition of it. It's exactly what I wanted, except it doesn't have Tiny Tim's grave. But I wanted the moment that Scrooge is figuring out that he can make a change. So, I think what I'm going to do is, actually what I did was I took John Leech's picture. I found a free site that would turn your art or your pictures into coloring. Or you could make it a coloring sheet. And so this is what I ended up with from that. It took a while. I think it took about 20-25 minutes to render this, but it was free. I didn't have to put any information in. And then I had it print out as a poster. Actually, I took it into Illustrator, and I don't know Illustrator that well, but I did take it into Illustrator into a 20 by 20 artboard. And then, because that's the size of the quilt, and then I printed it as a poster so that it came out on all these sheets of paper. And now I just have to put all these sheets of paper together and then start figuring out how to incorporate these colors. These are the only colors of the I can use in this quilt. So I'm gonna have to start coloring and figuring it out. And I know, like his hands are skin tone. He's kind of baldish, like right here. That's going to be skin tone. His foot skin tone. I think this part of his leg is sticking out, and that's skin tone. It's hard to see, but there's his hat. This is a building with a window. These are actually buildings back here, but I can change it. And what I can do is I could probably expand all of this out and maybe even put Tiny Tim's grave in here, which is what I kind of wanted to do. I wanted to have Ebenezer's grave and I wanted to have Tiny Tim's grave, and I just wasn't able to get AI to draw exactly what I wanted. So this is what I've landed on. I do have to make a decision. I've got 3 months before it's due, the last due date. They've already are starting to take submissions, so I've got to get to work on this. So this is what I've landed on. This way I can also, you know, copy out the shapes that I need to transfer them over to my fabrics. So these are like skin tone fabrics, but I can use this for the Grim Reaper here. So I wanted to show you that, that I was working on that, and that's what I've landed on, and I'm excited about it. Does anybody have a favorite Christmas carol that they watch? Because mine is Scrooge, and it's with Albert Finney, and it's a musical, and we love it. My mom introduced it to us a long time ago, and we just love all the music in it, and it's so much fun. But I have done people before, and this is an unfinished quilt. So this is Wolverine. This is from a picture I took, and I've been working on this for a long time. And then down here is my son at the bottom of his claws from a picture I took. So I will probably pull this out at some time in the future and show it to you and start working on it again. But I have done faces and applique, and there are really no faces in this one, but there is a person. So I will keep you updated as I'm working on that, and probably watch Scrooge and listen to the music while I'm working on that. So there's the Cherrywood challenge and where I'm at with that. Let's see, let's do Thrive. I'll just grab a couple of these blocks. This is the block of the month that I got through Primitive Gatherings, and my mom and I have been working on it, and we decided to paper piece our flying geese. I'm kind of waiting for the finishing kit or the finishing instructions to come through, because by paper piecing these, I don't know that I have enough left to do this version, but I may have enough to do the opposite of this version. So light in the middle and dark on the edges, but I don't know what the quilt looks like. So I'm trying to wait, but there are so many of these stars. I think I've got 4 months worth of these stars. So we are only through the first month right now. That's what we've worked on. So you saw those back here, there's some down here, and there's some up above this flowering block right there. So, but they're pretty much all the same. Primitive Gathering said that it was going to be putting a puzzle together, so that'll be interesting to see, because it's a lot of the same block. So I don't know how that's going to be a puzzle, but we'll see. So that's where we're at on Thrive. That's something my mom and I are working on together on Thursdays when we get together. I'm on the swap again. I did a Halloween swap, and now I'm in with the Christmas swap. And I did 10 people in a group. This is the Tell a Story swap, I think is what it's called. Is that what it's? Tell Me a Story swap. And what you do is you fussy cut the center of these, they're paper piece, and then surround it with the colors. These always have to be black, these points, and then these have to be a low volume. So I've started those, and I've got 20 to do, and I think I've done maybe 7, but I wanted to show you my fabrics. And I opened these fabrics. I bought them from Hawthorne Threads, and I opened them in a box opening a couple months ago. And I cut the Santa Clauses out. So all my blocks will be Santa Clauses. So these are what I've got put together so far. And I have actually received 2 blocks. And I wanted to show you. She sent me a recipe, 2 recipes. Easy corn chowder and pistachio lemon shortbread, and then these are the 2 blocks I've received so far, and they're so cute. I loved doing that. I love going to my mailbox and getting these blocks from someone else and then making the quilt and having an original quilt that way. There we go. There was a couple clubs. I think there was a Hanukkah club, maybe a religious one, and then this is just red and green. This was just the red and green swap. I'm calling it Club Swap. So I got into the red and green swap. So I wanted to show these off, and I got cards off of Amazon for, I don't know, $8. Got 20 cards for $8 that are kind of the same color as my theme here to put my blocks in and send them out. So that way they got a Christmas card too, along with their blocks. So that is closed. I don't know how many of these she does. I know she does the Halloween and the Christmas one, but when I find out about them again, I will let you know. I had someone comment and say that she'd open it, and I didn't know that she had actually. So I will try to let you know, but I thought she'd send an email out and I couldn't find one. So there's this swap that I'm in, and how far I've gotten on that, and that is really fun. And then Nocturnal Soul is the quilt along that I was showing you as I was doing it. It was like 2 blocks a week, and then I won a $50 gift card when I did the Raven. This is the quilt. I showed it off in my box opening, but I will throw a picture up too. It turned out really cool, and I have not been able to sandwich it yet. Hopefully soon, and have it ready for next year. So that's done, and I wanted to show you, I don't know if I told you, the Raven. I actually used, I did a box opening where I got their fabrics, Cherrywood fabrics. I'm in their subscription, and I used the black out of there, and it was perfect for the Raven because it has these veins in it. So I wanted to let you know that that's where I used some of this Cherrywood fabrics that you saw me open. Just yesterday I opened the orange, and I'm keeping Cherrywood fabrics together. They're the fabrics I get because they're so different than just all my solids that I have anyway. And they're a little more expensive, so I want to make sure they go into something that I'm happy with or that I think it goes well with. And there's my kitty cat. I don't know if you saw my cat. That was one of the last ones I did. And my spell book. My potions. That might have been one of the last ones. This is a flame. And this is a cat ghost, and it's got these little paws that come out that are like 3D. That's really cute. And my moth. It's hard to see, but there are faces down here. This was one of the easier blocks. The pumpkin and the witch. And these were supposed to be, the bubbles in the moon were supposed to be yo-yos, and I didn't want to do yo-yos, so I appliqued those on. But this was really fun. I hope they do it next year. It's actually closed now. Otherwise, I'd send you to them. Hopefully, as I was doing it, you checked it out and got their email so that maybe you could sign up and download the patterns, even if you didn't have a chance to work on it. So, but if they do that again next year, I will tell you. These, I will say, were not, I would say intermediate. The pumpkin block was a beginner block, but I would call the rest of them intermediate blocks. Although there were a lot of people in the Facebook group who said they had never paper pieced before, and then their ravens were gorgeous. But once you get the knack of paper piecing, your patterns can really turn out beautiful. So, that's the Nocturnal Soul Quilt Halloween Party. So, let me pull this down and so you can see it up close. And the things don't want to hang real well. I mean, they hang. When this is hanging up, they're fine. But other than that, they kind of fall off. But you can see my little 3D things here. And they're hanging by these buttons. And I'll be honest with you, I think I bought too small of buttons. It's hard to get this around it. And I could have used just a little bit bigger buttons. But that it works. Once I get them hung, it works. I've got my bats. I don't know if you can see the quilting. I just kind of did some back and forth quilting here. And then up in the, I'll try to get closer. In the border, I did like a meander, but with sharp edges. With pointy, squared off edges is kind of how I just kind of came up with it myself. I wasn't sure what to do, and I thought, well, it's Halloween. It's a little weird, so instead of a regular meander, I did this kind of squared off meander. So I have got my things hanging here, and they're falling off as I'm moving them. Let's just take a look at my house here. So my house, so what she has you do, I think I told you this, was you take this stiff interfacing and then you fuse your fabrics onto that, and then you applique your fabrics on. So you can see what it looks like on the back. And then I found this cat button, so I put a white cat there, and I hot glued, I had some fabrics with these pumpkins in them, so I put them on that interfacing and cut them out and then hot glued them onto my house. And then I've got my boots, which hang right here, and then my, I know you can't see it, my broom hangs right here, and my boots hang right there. And this kind of, when it's hanging up on my wall, kind of falls, so I just tuck it under my boots like that, and it doesn't fall. I've got the witch's hat, I've got several bats. I tried putting buttons on my bats, and it just was a lot. And I was like, I don't think it needs it, especially with the fabric I chose. I don't think my bats need the eyes. And then on my ghosts, I just took some floss and I drew some circles with that pen that I got from Sew Sampler that disappears after like a day. I drew some circles on there, and then I just filled them in with my floss, and then the pen disappeared. So that's a great use for the pen. My hat, my candy corns. I've got more ghosts. This is where my house goes. I'll hang this back up. That's where my house goes. My pumpkin's down here hanging. My cat is hanging down here. In her picture, it's over here. But I put my gravestones there. And then I've got, let's see, up here was the witch's cauldron. It was hanging up there. And then my candy bag hangs right here. So I love having this hang on my door. And it's on the inside of my door, not on the outside. So I get to see it every day when I get up, when I'm walking around my house. I get to see this hanging there, and I love it. This would be, I think, great for kids too, to be able to hang these up every year. Maybe you could put them in different spots. Maybe not the things down here, but up there, you know, all the things hanging up there. That actually goes there. And you could switch that up where you're hanging things. So it turned out, yeah, everything's falling off now. You can see they're all laying right here. I'll have fun hanging it up when I put my quilt back up on my door, but I just wanted to show you. I'll throw a picture up of what it looks like on my door, but it turned out super cute. I think it's Marsha Layton. I'll put it right here at the bottom. The pattern, I'll also have it listed in the links down below so you can see it down there or find it if you're interested. You basically put the border, the backgrounds, the grass, and then you applique the tree on, and then you sandwich it, quilt it, and I bound it, and then you can make all these extra items here, and you probably, if you're good at art, you could probably make your own. And then you put your buttons on and you hang them. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I'm really glad I bought the pattern. It turned out so cute. It was so much fun to make these little things and hang them up there. And yeah, I'm just a big kid at heart here. So it was a lot of fun. I don't know if you can see it, but I did quilt some spider webs in here. But because my thread matches so well with the background, it's really hard to see, and there's spider webs in the background. And then down here in the grass, I did the same thing as I did up there where I just kind of went back and forth, but I did throw in some tufts of grass, just kind of randomly, just to give it kind of that feel of grass. So, I wanted to show it off. I wanted to show you in case you're interested in doing something like this. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I got it done before Halloween, and I have other Halloween quilts that aren't done. And let you know that it's out there. She has it on her website. I found this at a quilt show, and I'm really happy that I did. So, all right. So that's everything I have to show off right now. I am going to be working on my tumbling blocks, which you can't see right now, my tumbling block quilt, and I'm going to put out a video for that. I'm working on that. And Dear Jane, I'm going to be putting a video out on how I'm doing the binding for Dear Jane, because that's where I'm at with Dear Jane, is the binding. So the last thing I want to do is show you the giveaway, which is Night Out. Now remember, this is a pattern that I've done. I have used this book. It is still in pretty good condition. You can see there's a little bit of a fold right there and a little bit down here. Just letting you know, that's what it is. It's a booklet style. I've done this quilt. I do have a video series of doing this quilt. I have a picture up of what my finished quilt looks like. It's sitting out on my couch right now. I did the border of the quilt, but I put appliqued Halloween icons that I did cut out on my Cricut, I think is what I did. And I do have a video showing how I did that. So you can see that my border looks different than hers. And I put, so I did the Midnight Moon quilt along from Moda a few years ago, and I had some blocks left over from that, and that's what I used as cornerstones in the corner of this quilt also. So I did modify it from her version. And then the Midnight Moda quilt along that I did, I had so much material left from that. I think that's what most of the material is in my quilt. So I think that this came with a quilt kit. I'm not sure, I didn't buy it. This was on sale at Fat Quarter Shop on their flash sale, and I bought it, and I loved doing this quilt. These instructions, it's by It's So Emma Patterns, and the instructions are really good instructions. It was a joy to make this quilt. It was a joy to read the instructions. So I'm not giving you something that's going to be hard to figure out. And in the back of it, it has a table runner option. So you could do that instead. But I wanted to just pay this forward because I'm not going to make this quilt again. I've made one, and I just want someone else to have this pattern now. So I did not write in this pattern, so there's none of that. Just like I said, just this corner is a little bent, and down here it's got a little bit of wear, but I wanted to give it away and let someone else do this quilt. And you'll have my video series too. I'll link that down below if you want to check it out. And so you can find this, as I've been doing with my giveaways. I do them on Facebook and Instagram because it seems to be the easiest. All the rules are on my post. I will have a link to that down below. And I will be picking a winner on November 3rd. Yes, November 3rd at noon. And as it says in the post, I will be sending you a private message or a direct message to let you know that you've won, and I will send it out to you. So this is only open to US residents because It seems postage has gotten weird, and it just costs a lot to send it out of the country. So since this is free, I'm just gonna open this to US residents. And again, that's all in the post. You can find all the fun rules and everything else in my Facebook or Instagram post. So that post is already out and you can go to it, and I will have it linked down below. So there you go. This was a fun pattern, and it's a very well written pattern. So that's what I'm giving away. And I think I'll do that in the future. I'll give away patterns that I have that, like I said, either I'm not using or I won't make again. And I'm not going to give away patterns that I've written all over or are just in bad shape. So this is not in bad shape, and it's a nice little book form. So there you go. Let me know what you think of all my projects, and I will keep you updated for sure on what I'm working on, and let you know, especially like the Cherrywood challenge, how that's going to turn out. I'm getting excited. I was getting nervous, but I'm getting excited now because I have a plan and I kind of have a format here. So I just need to incorporate colors. But anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below. If you're interested in the giveaway, head over to Facebook and Instagram. And I really appreciate you. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell, so you can stay up to date on the items I'm working on, and hopefully I can introduce you to new things that you haven't seen before that you may be interested in. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.